Oh my God, you didn't do the intro again. What is going on? What is the new
Hi,
intro?
everyone.
Hello, everybody. Where's the intro? Good God. To do the. Where's it at?
Cue the
Where's
music.
the intro?
Cue the music.
What is going on? Ben, play the intro. Play the Ben.
They're going to snap it, and it's Trey Burton who throws caught. Foles, touchdown.
Pigs have flown. Hell is frozen over. The Saints are on their way to the Super Bowl.
43, game on the line. Williams lofting one for a doozy. He caught it!
You're listening to the world's #1 football podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Ben Hansen, Matt Hartman, and Ryan Matthews.
Oh my gosh, I didn't get rid of this either. I'm so sorry. What a setup. What is going on? Where's the overlay? Why did I do this? Guys,
All right,
thank
there
you.
we go.
Holy cow.
All right, this is the best we're gonna get. Ryan steps away from the show for one day, 1 week, and just forgets how to do anything.
Yeah,
He's too
apparently.
scared. He's scared to compete. The Packers have him nervous. They have him shaking in his britches. We'll get into it. I'll be the host for this section. Ryan, how are you doing, buddy?
Feeling good?
You sure about that?
A little troubled, apparently. Oh, all right, I'm back, hopefully. Yeah, I'm feeling good. The Bears won 31-3 against the other team that I also like watching. So that's cool. Dominant win when you needed one. So that's cool. Feeling good, Wasn't a part of the recap, so I just want to say go Bears. That was cool. Other than that, you got a lot of life stuff going on, and I'm preparing for that next stage of my life, and that is why I was not a part of, I believe, the last 2 episodes. So, happy to be back. happy to be with the boys, and clearly not set up. I mean, holy cow! So sorry, guys. Forgot how streaming worked. But overall vibes good. Matt, how are you feeling?
I'm doing great, Ryan. Excited to talk football.
He had to mute himself to open up the can of Alani.
Go through the. Excited to go through the slate. But before we do that, we have to talk about the rundown of what we're gonna do today, guys. What a show! What a show! Am I right?
I'm looking forward to
first,
this one. For a while.
We'll talk about Monday Night Football, just little wrinkling thoughts, which I think we could just do hey, Quinn Ewers is going to play now because it was so bad. I think that's really the only takeaway from Monday Night Football. Steelers get the win. And then we'll talk some injuries. There's some injuries around the league. We touched on a few on the recap show, the major obvious ones. But if there's any other lingering injuries that feel needed to be mentioned, we'll throw those in there. And then some power rankings. Last power rankings before the playoffs. And we're going to, go through the top 5 teams in each conference and where to shake up. 3 weeks to go. 3 weeks to go, guys. Crazy. I'm going to say that every week until the season's over because I think I did that last week too. And then we'll pick games. We'll go through some game previews, the Thursday Night Football, a Saturday slate, and then some Sunday games before we pick all the games and have some pigskin payout. So, without further ado, let's get into some Monday Night Football lingering thoughts. Gentlemen, do we have anything to cover in the Steelers' victory over the Dolphins?
You had touched on the big thing. Tua just looked like flat out bad at that point, right? I mean, so much to the point they're like, Quinn Ewers, it's your time to shine, and it just like he was struggling to get things going within the pocket. But then you talk about everything that had happened every single time he had left the pocket, it got 10 times worse. Like, again, it was already bad enough. He wasn't able to get anything done when in the pocket, but then he steps out of the pocket, he tries to scramble, he tries to buy time, and it felt like every single time he was getting sacked for another 5 extra yards because he tried to buy himself more time, and it just did not work out a single time. I think it happened one time late, like where he rolled out, but that seemed like literally the only time it had happened. And again, the commentators touched on it too. The clock management by McDonald didn't make much sense. Like it seemed like they had given up with like
Aikman
7 minutes.
was pissed off.
Yeah, it seems like he had given up with like 7 minutes left in the game, and then like with 3 minutes left in the game, they're like, "Oh, now we're gonna use our timeouts." And it was just, I don't know. It was something to watch. I'll say that.
The vibes in Miami have been low for several years at this point, right? Like,
Well, they were
I
getting
mean,
better.
they had like what? They had how many good seasons? Like, seriously, you know what I mean? Outside of that, it's just
They've
been like
never won a
Tua's
playoff
hurt.
game in any of our lifetimes.
No,
The last playoff game they won, I believe, was 2001.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of, without doing crazy research, you know, I just feel like I personally have invested too much in Miami given their recent success. Like, but they finished okay since 2019, finished fourth in the AFC East at 5-11. Then they went second in the AFC East at 10-6, third at 9-8, 9-8, 11-6, 8-9, in 24. So I mean, obviously, like they've been decent, kind of middle of the pack, I would say, especially in a competitive AFC. But the thing is like there's always something going wrong in Miami. And Tua has been a massive question mark since he was in the league. So it's like it makes sense for them to want to turn the page at this point. But the problem is that they just paid the guy and he wasn't necessarily a quarterback that you look at given the recent injury history and everything and think this is something that I want to invest my entire future in. And now you're in a predicament to where you're drafting a guy as a day 3 pick and you're just going to throw the guy out there to see what we have because the Dolphins at this point are eliminated from the playoffs. They have nothing else to play for other than a higher draft pick. The worst thing that could happen could benefit the team. And at this point, the Tua question has to be asked, where do you go from here? Right? The offseason point towards an exit strategy and who is stupid enough to make a move for this guy given his recent injury history and his cap hit as well. It's really rough. And, obviously given the recent news that was either, I think that was today for Quinn Ewers, given that news, it's worth bringing up. But the Steelers, I mean, they're doing what the Steelers do, right? I mean, Mike Tomlin is going to find a way to get over 500. Like, is that still possible? I think that's still possible. And then, not to mention, they're right in the thick of things between, themselves and the Ravens for the AFC North. It's a pretty pathetic division right now. And Joe Burrow's depressed, and that's something else to talk about later. But like, at this point, I mean, it's weird, but I feel like this game was a get right game for them, especially going into this week. They're going into a very massive game against Detroit where it means something for both sides. You've got Pittsburgh that, is in the middle of a playoff hunt and divisional title hunt. And then you've got the Lions, which need this win in order to keep their playoff hopes alive because I believe they dipped under 40% probability this past week. So overall, for both teams and their situations, it's interesting to see exactly where they're at. But this game was pretty telling as far as the direction of, where they're headed, specifically in 2025, nothing beyond.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't have anything to add to any.
I want to preface too when I said getting better, I was referring to the last 3 weeks, not the last
Yes.
3 years.
No, yeah.
I just want that to be known. I was not talking about them over the
No,
grandiose.
I didn't think you did either. I just wanted to preface it by saying, like, last year, for example, was really rough for Miami, and I've got an uncle that's a Dolphins fan that went and saw them in real time, and it's like, it doesn't seem like they're running their routes at full speed. Like, it's really rough. I would argue culture at this point. And when we talk about offseason moves, at some point you have to question the head coach and the culture that he's instilled into the team. So that's where my head's at with it, just to keep it in a nutshell.
Yeah, the only thing I have is the Steelers got a value signing in Kenny Gainwell. They run so much of their offense through him. Like,
it's crazy.
It's so silly. It's goofy, but
Go Birds.
hey, it's what they're gonna do. Well, he's not a Bird anymore. That doesn't.
I know. Kind of root for the kid.
Then we get into injury report. Do either of you have any injuries that we need to kind of touch on this week outside of the major ones that we hit on?
I mean, aside from the 3 big ones that we had touched
like
on in the
Devontae's
recap,
out.
with Devontae ripped his hamstring off of his leg. Not actually, but it seems pretty concerning. And then obviously the Micah Parsons and the Pat Mahomes that we got into.
How about just like the Packers as a whole? I'm sorry to cut you off because Mahomes is just as big of an impact as Parsons was, but the Packers injury report is really rough. I don't think we have enough time to. Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but it's like you dive into that. That is a really beat up team right now. So.
Mm-hmm. Christian Watson is practicing though.
Yeah. Sure. All right. Yeah. Next up.
After that, we get into power rankings. So decide amongst yourselves which division or what conference, are we going to start?
My vote's for the AFC. I just want to say
that's
just because it was really rough, but interesting.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's do the AFC. Let us get into the power rankings for the AFC conference. We usually go 1 to 5, right? So.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right. Should we circle around? Who wants to start with their number one team?
I'll start. I think it's obvious. Broncos are playing really good ball right now. 12-win team already at this point. Best record in football. I mean, you have to put them at 1 at this point. There's a side to them that I guess it's like your record says you're good, but I don't know if I trust that. You know what I'm saying? When I watch the Broncos play, it's like, listen, they're going to suffocate you. This defense is really good, right? But at the same time, it's like they slip up every once in a while, and Bo Nix, for me, is just not somebody that I feel like would be in this situation. You know what I mean? It's intriguing about this team, but they are playing really well, and I have to respect it, and that's why they're number 1.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with everything that you had said, and that's exactly how I was feeling about the Broncos until this past week, right? Again, there was a lot of concern about they didn't really play anyone good. But then they went in, they played the Packers, and any concern that you had about Bo Nix not being a passer that wants to throw the football beyond 5 or 10 yards went out the window because he did that at a very efficient rate. And again, it's like he has now proven that he can do it. It's just a matter of how often he wants to do it, but he did it at a good level. I'm right there with you. I would be shocked if Matt wasn't as well. Broncos are my number 1 team in the AFC as well.
Yeah, they're my number 1, and neither of you mentioned why they are number 1. The defense. The defense is incredible. It's second to only Houston, and I think Seattle is probably in that tier. But what they have found along that front, and just being able to squeeze the end of the game against the Packers, where it's just a 4-man rush and everybody sit back, play your zones, and nobody's going to be in trouble. And oh, by the way, they have the Defensive Player of the Year at corner. So like again, just the defense is so suffocating that you can have a half where Jordan Love was incredible. They scored 23 points in the first 35-ish minutes of the game, and they have the explosive run by Jacobs. After that, they scored 3 points, and in the red zone they were 1 for 4. So again, like just what that defense is able to do against a team like that, and then I mean the Bo Nix conversation continues to just be so much fun for me. Because I don't know if you guys can agree, is because every time I watch him play in these high leverage moments, I go, he just played the best game of football I've ever seen him play. Like the half against the Chiefs where he makes every throw happen. He made every throw happen against Green Bay, like off schedule, down the right sideline. The throw to Sutton for the touchdown, it's, if you put blue and 17, you're saying like, oh, that's Josh Allen, like how good it is down that sideline. And so, again, I can't disagree with anything. Like, and this isn't just a team that's like, well, they got the most wins, so put them at 1 for me. Like this really is like now a Super Bowl team for me in the last 3-ish weeks.
Absolutely.
My number 2 slot. Despite the fact they just lost to the Bills, I'm going to put them at number 2.
Wow.
They're
Okay.
the Patriots.
Okay.
Reason being
fun.
is strictly because I don't think that loss was indicative of who this team really is. I feel like they are better than what people are saying, and I understand. Trust me, as a Bears fan, you haven't played anybody. That argument, you win games, right? Drake May is playing MVP level football. He's really good, right? And you've got the coach of the year, in my opinion, on the sidelines as well. And when you've got that as a tandem and you're able to squeeze out these wins, and I would assume, right, and it's not going to happen. Obviously, they've played each other twice, but like in the scenario we could get a rematch in the playoffs, I'm not taking the Bills over them right now. This is a really tough team. They're hungry, and I think the sky's the limit for them going forward. But right now, I've got the Patriots at 2.
It was, I'll spoil it. It was the Patriots and Bills are, either team is 2 and 3 for me. The Patriots are at number 3. Bills will be at number 2 because they just beat them, which is like tough because I would like to be like, oh, the Patriots are a better team, but we just saw them play this past weekend at Gillette Stadium where they lost, right? And the Bills, when they want to turn it on, they can. And I just still have questions about the talent level on the Patriots. They're a lot of fun to watch, and I really, really do enjoy it. But X's and O's only gets you so far if you don't have the Jimmy and Joes, right? And it's Drake May and who else? And so it's not really even the Patriots. It's Drake May and Henderson and a whole bunch of other guys there, right? So I would really like to put the Patriots at 2, but again, we just saw the Bills beat them. That's why the Bills are at 2. And again, when the Bills want to turn it on, they absolutely can. We had seen it in the second half. I still have my own concerns, especially when it comes to that run defense. In a game in which they won, that run defense popped its ugly head twice with Henderson there. But aside from that, I don't have a whole lot of concerns because, again, when you have 17 playing quarterback there, you can really get a lot of things done. That's why the Bills are going to be at 2 and the Patriots are at
3. I also have the Bills at 3. It was definitely a toss-up for sure. I felt like that game was just like a fluke. You know what I mean? So, but the Bills, yes, very good. And I hope that Josh Allen can take advantage of this window that he has in the playoffs right now because Mahomes has been his kryptonite for a very long time. And he's kind of like, he's the dude that you kind of want to root for. You know what I mean? Like the more social media stuff that gets put out, like he's just a fun guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyways, Matt, yes. Second place.
I have the Bills at 2. Again, I think you mentioned the point. I think in a conference that somehow this season feels like it's lacking the top end guys. Like we're on the precipice of a Mahomes-less, Lamar-less Burrowless AFC, and those are kind of the four horsemen with Josh Allen. And so I think Allen puts his team above a level. The fact that he can do what he did in the second half, and it's not just all him. Like James Cook was incredible. He killed me in fantasy this week. Like, I mean, this guy, he took over the game, and that's another thing is like this run game has real substance to it that you can lean on it in these big spots. You can lean on it when you're down 17 at half, and it still is able to just grind a team like New England into the dust when needed. And when you have Josh Allen, it's really I'm still very skeptical of the defense, but I think they have enough stars that I think they can piece it together in a playoff game just because they've all been there before. Like Benford just missed this most recent game against New England, and it really, really showed. I think Rousseau can make some plays, and Milano as like a spy was incredible in this game. Like it was only his second multi-sacks game of his career. So again, I think they have the star power just enough that I put them over my number 3 team, which is not New England. So should I just
who
get
is
right
your number?
into?
I was gonna say, go ahead and reveal it.
I have Jacksonville at 3.
Okay.
I think Jacksonville is playing at a level that, listen, this is when us Trevor Lawrence stockholders have our monthly meeting. This is going to be a fun one for us because he's playing the best stretch of football in his career, and the offense feels fresh. It feels multiple. I think what you're able to do with ETN and Tootin, and I think Tootin is one of the guys to mention in like the injury tent, but still, like, this is the best run game of his career, and I think it's showing everything else. And yeah, I get it's the Jets, I get it's the Titans, and even like the Colts a week before, and the Colts are kind of on a downslope. Like, still seeing him play at this level is impressive, and it's something to make note of. And so I've loved it. And then again, the defense, by any metric you look at, is top 10 and everywhere. I think they're incredible. They have a top 5 turnover differential, and they're not a team like, I'm going to rag on your Bears a little bit here, Ryan. They're not completely dependent on the turnovers. It's not like we get gash downfield and then we get a red zone turnover. They kind of create these short fields on opportunities and just get after you with star level talent. Like Antonio Johnson the undrafted free agent from a few years ago, he might be one of the best safeties in football. I don't think you could go on the street. I don't think anybody knows his name. He's been incredible this year. And so I'm willing to buy into Jacksonville now. I think there is a tip on Jacksonville just because of the overall nature of them. But I think we have a fun one this weekend with them traveling to Denver.
I had Jacksonville at my 4, so I'm right there with you. That it is exactly what I expected when Liam Cohen stepped into that head coaching spot. For those of you that have been listening for a long time, if it wasn't going to be Ben Johnson in Chicago, I was pounding the table for Liam Cohen. It's fun to see him work out with a guy like Trevor Lawrence because of that reason. The guy is, we did a film review on him in the preseason. I was excited to see exactly what he could put together, and the dude is doing exactly what we wanted him to do at that point. It really sucks because, like, I wish that Travis Hunter could be a part of this. You know what I mean? And so I could watch a little bit more and see where he fit in. The injury really, really sucks. But, I'm really excited to see this game this week, though, like you were mentioning, to see exactly where we're going to be able to put these teams at the end. Because, Ben, not to completely, poo-poo on your parade, but I know that you were like right there with you. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because there's another competitive team in their division, and that is my number 5 spot in Houston. So, I'm bringing that up just temporarily now so we could talk about them later. But, it's going to be interesting these next 3 weeks to see how these things pay out, because it's like, can this be sustainable for Jacksonville? Can they go ahead and win the division when we thought it was up and away Indy for the first half of the season? Or, you know what I mean? Because it seems like they're in the rearview mirror between these two teams. So I'm excited to talk about Houston, but Jacksonville definitely deserves their flowers, and that's why they're at 4 over Houston at 5.
Yeah, yep. Jacksonville's right there at 4 for me. Love the Antonio Johnson shout out, especially considering like how we talked about him 2 years ago. Like, people loved him, and people were like, "Oh, he might be a first round pick," and then had bad. I digress. For all the reasons that y'all two had Jacksonville at 3 and 4, it's the reason I have them at 4. I don't need to echo everything that you guys are saying. I'm assuming that the Patriots are 4 for you, Matt.
They're 5.
5. Okay. Well, my 5 is the same as Ryan's 5. So I'm assuming my 5 is your 4. Mine's the Texans. Okay. Well, perfect. I'll do the Texans here. Again, Texans are the 5th team for me here within the power rankings. And all of that obviously stems mainly from everything that they are doing on the defensive side of the football. This team is an absolute tank. Like, have fun getting past them on the defensive side of the football, because they have the dudes on the back end to lock you down, mixed with a set of arguably the best tandem of pass rushers in all of football. And you're saying all of this and all this great thing that they're doing on the defensive side of the football is occurring all at the same time that CJ Stroud is finally finding his stride, and the offensive line is put together a couple good games. It took us a long time to get there, but they're finally, again, have put together a couple of good games to keep CJ Stroud upright enough to allow him to show why everyone loved him last year and why everyone really liked him going into this year. And again, it just seems the same, obviously for different reasons, but kind of the same way that we were talking about Jacksonville. It's the same way we're going to be talking about the Texans, and they're just finding their stride on offense and letting their defense carry them along the way. That's why the Texans are number 5 for me. But you're the high man on the Texans here at 4 compared to our 5. So,
Yeah, I think it's kind of a tiebreaker with them in New England to me. I think the overall passing game of New England is outweighs what Houston can do, but the defense margin for me is just so great that I'm going to take Houston right now, just because. And another part of it is, like, I have faith that Stroud and this offense do figure it out in the playoffs, where I don't have that same belief in New England. When it gets even more high leverage, the defense is going to play better. I don't know and so yeah, you mentioned the pass rushers. Everywhere there's a star player. Just every Lassiter has turned into a star CB2. We know what Stingley is. We know what Alshire is, but also Henry To'oTo'o is coming into his own next to him. It's just, they have players all over the defense, and then they have probably one of the best minds in football in D'Amico Ryans, who is just attack. And so again, it's an incredible defense, and I mean, every bet they've made on getting a good player on the defensive end, they have made.
Yeah, I mean, you guys already, like Ben said, you guys already tackled that as far as the Texans for me. So I'm not going to necessarily echo it too much. Shall we get into the other conference?
Well, really quickly, Ryan and then Matt, and then I'll go last. What is your 1 through 5 in order?
Yes, for the AFC, I have the Broncos at 1, Patriots at 2, Bills at 3, Jaguars at 4, Texans at 5.
I had the Broncos 1, Bills 2, Jaguars 3, Texans 4, Patriots 5.
There you go. And I had Broncos at 1, Bills at 2, Patriots at 3, Jags at 4, and Texans at 5.
I would have the Chiefs just missing out because of EPA.
Get the
That's a whole full circle.
full circle.
All right, let's move into the NFC, and I think we shall start it off with. We have a pretty monster game in this conference on Thursday Night Football with the Rams and the Seahawks, and my number 1 and number 2 are in this game. I think
Yes.
I'm not going to beat around the bush. I think the Rams are the best team in football. I think they have the guy playing the best. He's quarterbacking the best offense in football. I think they have the best pure play calling mind in football. They have the best two, receiver duos in football. And oh, by the way, they're also getting like something out of Blake Corum and Kyron Williams. And I've been pretty critical of Kyron Williams. And if Corum is able to fill in his shortcomings as like an explosive back, then what is there to really beat around with this offense? I think this offense is incredible. And then you get into the defense, and yeah, the secondary is still leaky, and Emmanuel Forbes literally costed them the Carolina game, but he also kind of won them the Tampa Bay game with how just downhill he is in coverage. But the front for the Rams, like talking about the Lions game specifically, like when this front needs to make a play, like they do, and they have a ton of guys doing it. Like Kobe Turner can do it. Jared Verse obviously, and Fisk can do it. But even like Poona Ford getting a run stop on Jahmyr Gibbs, like that sets up the 2nd and 10 that forces the Kobe Turner sack. So again, like I think their front is how they're driven, and everything else kind of revolves around it. But you guys agree with me on the Rams?
Yeah,
I think the first two. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm right there with you with those first two teams being the Rams and the Seahawks. I'll give them the Seahawks after this. You had mentioned like the one guy that like I don't think has gotten like enough shine on this Rams defense, and it's Poona Ford. Like we had talked about him in the offseason about like this dude is really good and people don't talk about him enough. And again, what he has allowed, as you said, like this Rams defense to do, like on these early downs to stop the run, to then let all those vicious pass rushers that you had talked about get after the quarterback. He's kind of like the unspoken hero that doesn't get enough love. And I just wanted to give Poona Ford his.
I didn't even mention their
here.
double-digit sack guy, Byron Young. Sorry. He's been incredible, by the way.
Yes.
Like, and he's awesome too. He wears number 0. So, like, easy to find him, easy to know who he is.
I just wanna say, while we're giving Poona Ford his shine, before the Bears signed Grady Jarrett, I wanted Poona Ford. Just saying.
Well, I continue to think that the Raiders drafted the wrong Byron Young. Like I really think that they wanted Tennessee Byron Young and not Alabama Byron Young, but I digress. But yeah, I mean, I'll get into all of our number 2 teams here in the Seahawks, and kind of the same reason that we liked the Texans, and kind of the same reason that we liked the Jaguars, just on a more efficient level on offense, is the same reason that the Seahawks find themselves here as the number 2 team in the AFC. They are one of the best defenses in the entire league. And Sam Darnold and JSN probably have the second best quarterback wide receiver connection, only behind the team we just talked about in Matt Stafford and Puka Nacua. So you have everything that you want to get done on the defensive side of the football, and then you translate to whatever the Sam Darnold experience has been over the last 2 or 3 years, where he has just been great and one of the better quarterbacks in the league, which is just wild to say out loud. And really, I think the only concern with the Seahawks is kind of the point that we had brought up on the recap show, is their run game. I still have a lot of questions about if they can efficiently do that, but I don't think it really matters when the passing game looks as good as it does and the defense is as good as it is. So I think that's why they find themselves at number 2 here for all of us.
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, you guys nailed it there. But the one comment that I want to say is, who would have thought we would have been talking about Sam Darnold playing football and meaningful football at that in mid-December?
That's what I'm saying, right?
Because it's like I mean, congrats to the Seahawks on getting their guy, right? But like, who would have thought? This team looks really good, and I feel like there's a drop off after those first two in the NFC, despite the fact that it is a competitive conference. I would argue more competitive this year than the AFC is, obviously. But like the Seahawks, man, they're so much fun to watch, and they almost lost to old man Phillip Rivers, which raises a couple questions. But it's going to be an epic showdown this week. Matt, who you got for number 3?
Number 3, the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, me too. That's awesome.
Yep. I have the Bears just because I think the floor of this team is just so sustainable, and then I compare it to the rest of the conference. I would have had Green Bay here if Micah Parsons' knee is intact. Like
I'm saying the same thing.
Yep. And spoiler, they're not even on my list after that injury. I think he is that big of a swing and for them, and this is about Chicago, but like their floor in the run game, just being able to eat up chunks, I think just raises just a level above this conference, above the two teams that I have right now, in a way that I didn't think I would going into it, but I just feel so confident in, like, Ben Johnson is worth 24 points a game. Like, just his scheme alone is going to get them 24 points a game, and the only reason they don't get 24 against Green Bay is because of the interception in a game where you have to throw it to the end zone, and they scored 3 points in the first half on like 3-ish drives. So again, that's like an outlier half. Even if I have my concerns with the quarterback and the overall health of the pass game, because it is still just a work in progress, I think the run game is just so good that I'm willing to just buy the floor when comparing the two teams that we have after them. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Ben?
And then the defense is a gimmick, all right? The defense is a gimmick, but it works, okay? Like, I have to address the elephant in the room. It's a gimmick, but it works. It's Pittsburgh all over. I'm not going to try and solve it. I'm not going to try and do this all year where this is just what they do. They just win the turnover battle, they win the field position battle, and they win games because of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I have the Bears at 3. To be frank, I'm not going to waste any of my breath on this because Ryan will do all of the talking for me. Bears are at 3.
Yeah, I don't want to hit on it too much. I think Caleb is a lot better than what his stats and completion percentage show. The guy showed that, and whatever. But the game against Cleveland, and I know that Cleveland is not a good team, but they have a good defense, right? The game against Cleveland, I think, was a massive get-back game for them, and it was a statement win. One of the things that I was really looking for is overall, like, I want to see, and I think I texted you guys about this and even tweeted it out if you follow me on Twitter, that, I was frustrated because the team itself you don't see until about the second half, right? But that game against Cleveland, you were able to see 14 points in the first quarter, and now this team's starting to get a little bit more rhythm and catching a little bit, more heat exactly when you need it. And now they could clinch a playoff spot this week. And when was the last time you could say that about the Bears? It's been a little bit, spoiler alert. But here's the thing. It's an exciting time in Chicago. Sure, the defense could be better. Sure, the pass rush could be better. Sure, the passing game could be better. But like it or not, this is a fun team. And I don't think I could be asking for much more. Like, I'm pounding the table for the playoffs strictly because I'm having so much fun this year. I just don't want it to end. So, without further ado, I mean, I don't think we necessarily have to hit on too much more with the Bears. I think we covered it. But massive concern this week for the absence of Rome Odunze and probably Luther Burden as well. But we progress and we move on. So
who's that undrafted guy y'all had? Big step up for him.
Oh, you're talking about Jade Burton, dude? Dude,
It doesn't. Yeah.
Jade Walker. I mean, not Burton. Jade Walker. Yeah, the guy that does like the or whatever it is. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Where he's like
For the
floating.
A&M kid. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're gonna see a lot of the Alameda Zacchaeus, Devin Duvernay. You know what I mean? Like those guys, and then obviously DJ Moore on Saturday. But like, you know, I would like to see Walker brought up. I think that'd be cool.
They
You know, a little
listen.
gimmick for the
I don't
fans.
think. I don't think either of those guys can run those like deep stop like comeback routes. Those like 12 to 14-yard stop routes. Like that's why Burden. It was so awesome to see him without a Dunze because he could run all that stuff.
Yeah.
And where I don't know if Zacchaeus can. Like I don't think Zacchaeus can really put his foot in the ground and
Yeah.
separate like that at that depth. So I do think like Walker might be an actual player because I remember watching him in preseason. Like there's something.
That catch
It's not
was
nothing.
crazy. Yeah. He deserved the roster spot that he was given. But number 4 is kind of interesting to me, right? Because Matt already said the Packers was off of his list.
Yep.
I've got the 49ers at 4.
Mhm.
I think this is the team that, you know, probably fits this spot here. Strictly because, I mean, oh, there we go. Sorry. Strictly because, you know, they are winning games. You know what I mean? They're competitive in a very competitive division, probably the league's most competitive division. And I mean, they're still in play for the 1 seed. You know what I mean? Like this is a team that is worth noting. Now, I've got some concerns. I personally, my own bias, I don't think they're as good as advertised. You know, I think they're better than a lot of the teams in the NFC. I mean, obviously 7 playoff spots. I think there's probably a good, 8 or 9 teams in the NFC that could make it. But I mean, the Niners at this spot, like I said, there's a bit of a fall off, and the Bears and Niners, I would say, are around that same tier at least. And you know, that's where I've got them without, you know, further. Well, I will say this: Purdy's playing really good football recently, so you know that's pretty cool. Pretty cool, I guess. But you know, CMC still CMC. Yeah, yeah. Ooh. But yeah, CMC's good, Purdy good. You know, what is there not to like? Kittle good. You know, whatever. Boring take. I know. Their defense doesn't impress me though. I feel like the Bears are going to talk about next week, but we're gonna whatever.
I didn't have them on my ranking, and they wouldn't have even been my honorable mention if I'm being frank.
Glad
that being said,
glad we at least think the same. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, right. That being said, I'll do what it seems like the two of you guys won't. I'm gonna have the Packers at 4. Yes, Micah Parsons was a big hit. I still like the things that they can get done on the defensive side of the football, and we have said it time in and time out. Literally, it seems like every single episode this year that when Jordan Love is due for 1 bad throw, 2 bad throws, but other than that, he has been balling out. And Micah Parsons being out doesn't affect how well Jordan Love is going to play. And I have trust in him. I have trust in the offense. They have a little bit of injuries here. Obviously, it's kind of been a week-to-week thing with Josh Jacobs. Come playoff time, I think Josh Jacobs will probably be fine. I don't want to predict injury and everything. But I think they still have Rashawn Gary, obviously, on the defensive side of the football. He is no Micah Parsons, but he is enough. We forget that they do have Lucas Van Ness. Do with that what you want. But I just this stems more so about the trust that I have within this offense. And I think they can get it done when they need to, and that's why they're going to be at number 4 for me.
Matt?
Staying on the Packers, yeah, I think I get all the reasons to still be like high on this team and invested in this team, but like for me emotionally, like it's just the 2024 Packers all over again, where it's like the one guy like, and Watson being back will still like help them, but it's like oh, hey, like Tucker Kraft is like finally, creating yards after the catch and being an actual man beater because that was their biggest problem in those high leverage like Minnesota games. He goes down. And then it's like all this cool stuff they do with Micah on Thanksgiving and even the week after when they face Chicago and just being able to be this menacing force and this actual closer of a player, like this Mariano Rivera type player, and he's now gone. And it just, those were the two things that held me back on, like, I still just, I love the quarterback. I love watching him play football, but it's so hard to keep this investment that I think they could go all the way in comparison to these 5 teams that I have. But yeah, I get all the reasons to still have them at 4. Maybe it's just me holding back because of my investment through this season.
Your emotional investment, yes.
And yeah, I mean they have a lot of guys out, and if we're gonna have to rely on these corners because the pass rush doesn't get home, it could get scary.
Denzel Valentine has been good this year, though.
But oh my goodness, Valentine. I think we have to do my 4 because you guys are afraid to do it. I still have the Eagles here. I think the Eagles are
Eagles are
still
on my list. Yeah.
one of the 4 best teams in the conference. I think the defense is just still really, really good. And outside of a game against, the Chargers where going into that game, I was like, Hurts has actually been pretty good. I think a lot of people kind of dog on Hurts, but like what he's been asked to, he has been reading the field much better. And then he has a game where he has 4 interceptions and even has a double turnover play and has the game losing interception. That is just inexplicable. But again, it's weird with that offense. Are they going to figure it out? I don't know. Hopefully, like these next few games, like they have the Commanders twice, and Ben, you would know who's in between there. I don't know the team that is in between this. Is the Bills? Okay, let's get Lane Johnson back. We could run the ball, but like it's.
Can we?
I still believe in the star levels talent, and I also have like the Madden meme where the guy like sits up. I also believe that there is a little bit of that too with this team. Like when AJ Brown is going to be pushed in the playoffs, it's no longer about stats. It's about winning the football game. And I feel like all these guys are just going to collectively lock in, if that makes sense. I don't know. Just because they've done it before and it's now it's like no longer is it like, oh, we'll figure it out next week. There is no next week now. There is this game. And so I still am bullish on the star talent of this team. I think they went through a weird stretch there. But like, remember when they just locked up Green Bay for 4 quarters and it just didn't feel close, even though the scoreboard was close? Like,
yeah,
they still have that level of defensive ability.
Yeah, I mean they're number 5 for me. So like I everything that you said, I second. It's just a matter of like, shocker, the Eagles fan is being pessimistic, right?
Gimmick,
but yeah,
gimmick.
It's not a gimmick. But no, I mean they're number 5 for me. The reason I continue to be bullish is because I've seen the collapse happen once before, like literally 2 years ago. So that's why I don't want to get too big for my britches here. But again, I mean, they have the star power to be one of the better teams in the entire league, i.e. last year. And this defense is playing better than what they did last year. And that's a hard task to do. And they still have literally everyone on this team, aside from Mekhi Becton, back on the offensive side of the football that we saw them do throughout that insane playoff run last year. I understand. They're number 5 for me. So I'm not going to leave them off my top 5. Come on now.
They would be my honorable mention if there was a spot for that. For the Eagles, yeah. I've got the Packers at 5. The Packers are still the Packers. They're going to be competitive. The Eagles, that they're the Eagles right now. They're just the team that's gonna win their division and probably be on the 3 spot in the NFC. But like, I don't want to watch them play anymore. They've been super boring like the entire year. You've got divas on the sideline during the entire season. You bring in a stupid positivity rabbit and nothing works. Your quarterback it turns over the ball how many times in prime time? Yeah, let's bring it up. How many times on prime time did he turn over the ball? And it's like against the Chargers.
but he is known to not like. Come on, the turnovers.
I'm not saying
like,
he's
it
known
was a
for
bad
it.
game. But
I'm not
like,
saying
he
he's
is
known for it.
known for
But that's
being
the
one
reason
of
why I don't. I know, but that's not going to convince me to want to watch this version of this team
Yes.
play. This just happened recently, and that's the point. That's why we do these things, once a month. You know what I mean? So my thing is like, can they go in? Can they win a playoff game? Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys have a point? Do I think that they could lock in? Yes. Do I think they will though? I'm not convinced. I'm not, strictly because if they could lock in, why haven't they? Like, what's going on with this offense? And sure, that's awesome.
That doesn't
That's
count.
Yeah, I know.
like, but then
I know. They were playing the little league.
I do think it's funny that like Ryan is making great points, and like I am predicated on like, what if they lock it? Like,
no, because like they are a
What?
good team on paper. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. This team is built to go and win another Super Bowl.
I just want to see them with Lane Johnson in like high leverage spots. I just
Yeah.
want to see it because I think he is like an actual like gravity mover. Mailata has not been that good this year in comparison to what he is. Lane is still like awesome. And so if he could get healthy and they could figure out that part, I want to retain hope that like if this defense is truly one of those, we're going to keep the other team under 20, maybe outside of the Rams. I want to hold out hope that it's like they could play with anybody and they could beat anybody. But your points are absolutely valid. Like buying stock in the Eagles right now is the definition of the biased of lows.
Well, here's the thing too. Like, you're gonna look at the last 4 weeks, and I'm almost gonna chalk it up as 3 weeks because they're gonna win the division. They're not going to play their starters the last week of the season. It's obvious at this point, right? The get back game against the Raiders, you accomplished it, 31-0, right? I mean, Ben brought it up. Hopefully, you see that these next couple weeks against the Commanders and the Bills, right? Because that's the version of the team that you want to show up in a week in and week out basis, right? Especially going into it. And this league is built on getting hot at the right times, and the Eagles can absolutely do that. They have the star power for it. They're pardon my French, a damn good team. You know what I mean? Listen, you got another one, I would argue, in the Commanders, in another get back game against a division rival. You go beat them on their home turf, and then you go to Buffalo in a playoff-like atmosphere to go and test the waters out before you rest your starters, hopefully get healthy, take that 3 seed, and hopefully do something with it. They're an okay team, and that's why I'm saying like they'd be just on the outside. But would I take them over the Rams, Seahawks, Bears, 49ers, or Packers right now? I would say the 49ers and Packers maybe. It's a close race. And that's only because Micah Parsons got hurt. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my top 5 would look a hell of a lot different if Micah was healthy. You'd probably have Rams, Seahawks, Packers, Bears, insert whoever the hell else afterwards. You know what I mean? So it's just the Eagles are just they've been unimpressive to me, and it proved my point even more so when the Bears ran them into the dirt. And I will have that trash talk for the next year.
Okay. All of that talk. Recap that really quickly. Ryan's 5th team was not the Eagles; it was the Packers. Matt, who is your 5th team?
Oh yeah, the Niners. I think Ryan made the point of like Purdy's looking like Purdy again. I get Tennessee is Tennessee, but it's still fun to see it. Still fun to see him kind of off platform moving, and They just have so many guys. I still don't think they're not impressive in the trenches, nor have they really ever been. And then their gravity shifting players on defense, Warner and Bosa, are out. So again, like, should I probably have Green Bay over them? Probably, but I'm maybe in copium state. But I think the passing offense for the Niners is just more sustainable than Green Bay, just because of those shifting players that they have, and also like where would you rank Ricky Pearsall if you just dropped him on Green Bay in their like receiving core? Is he wide receiver 1? Like, I think he might
Probably
be.
2. I think he's 2.
And
yeah,
is it Dobbs? Would you take Dobbs?
I'd take Christian Watson, but yeah.
Okay. That's fair. Watson has been playing pretty impressive. But still, it just shows like how many guys they can go into the cupboard, and it makes this Ayuk situation much more palatable because they're going to cut him, and they're going to cut him for cause, and they're going to save some money doing that. But yeah, that is my 5th team. I have the Niners. I don't like their defense. Their defense isn't great, but Saleh's fun. Like, what if you have a game where Saleh just creates 3 turnovers because he just blitzes 80% of the time? That'd be fun. But
That's why the Niners wouldn't have been my honorable mention. I don't want to get into it because we're an hour into the show now at this point. The Lions would have been my honorable mention in front of the Niners at this point because I don't like either of their defenses, but I sure like the Lions offense more than I like the Niners offense.
really, okay.
Lions would have been, again, my honorable mention. Ryan, hit us off with your little recap 1 through 5.
Rams, Seahawks, Bears, Niners, Packers. Yeah.
Matt?
I have, let me pull it up here. I have the Rams, the Seahawks, the Bears, the Eagles, the 49ers.
All right. And I have Rams, Seahawks, Packers, Bears, Eagles. And that's where it is before we can swing it on over to probably the last segment or second to last segment.
All right.
Third to last. Yeah. We have some games to talk about, gentlemen.
We have some great games to talk about. Specifically starting on Thursday Night Football with featuring all of our number 1 and 2 power ranked NFC teams. The Rams travel to Seattle against the Seahawks in a game that I remember earlier this season. Remember how awesome like the personnel talk was? Like when Greg Olsen was getting into it, he's like 13 personnel with the Rams, and the Seahawks basically they run nickel out of everything because they have this guy Nicky Minwari who's basically built like a linebacker, but he runs like a safety. And it was this impressive scheme talk. And then the game happens, and Sam Darnold has one of his Sam Darnold moments where he just has this outlier pressure up the middle performance where I think he threw 4 interceptions. It was just this ridiculous day against Chris Shula. He is his boogeyman somehow. And since then, both teams have kind of just been trudging along. I think the only loss either one has committed since this game is the Rams' hilarious loss against the Panthers. Again, nobody is more hot than these two teams playing right now, and now we get a Thursday Night Football game featuring them each.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. No, I mean, my biggest point, ironically enough, for this game that I think is just going to be, again, really fun. Obviously, you have your 13 personnel versus your 12 personnel. Talked about the 13 personnel just giving me a hard on in football from the Rams, so I don't have to do that too much. But in terms of just like points to watch in this game, like I'm very, very interested to see if the Seahawks can get any semblance of run game going. All of that being said, this is not like the team to figure that one out against. Because, I mean, we had just talked about Poona Ford, and I had just spent a minute talking about how great this Longhorn is. But, like, you're going to have to figure out how to do that if you want to stay in this game, right? Because we had seen Sam Darnold not look very good when he had to pass the football a whole lot the last time this team played. And, again, kind of the best way to calm down your quarterback when they're having a bad game is by turning around and handing the football off. Again, they have struggled mightily with it, especially over the last couple weeks. The Colts being very eye-opening for them, obviously, last week when they had squeaked out that victory. I think that's going to kind of be the matchup that decides this game because we both like the passing offenses for either of these teams, and we know what the run offense for the Rams looks like. So if the Seahawks want to win this game, it's going to be because they're going to figure out what the heck's going to happen on the ground and see if they can get any semblance or threat of it. Because if not, they're just going to drop everyone back in coverage, and they're going to have another 4 interception game on Sam Darnold. And again, I think that's going to kind of be your swinging point, the run offense versus the run defense for the Seahawks and Rams. And that's kind of where my head is at.
So you guys want to talk about like X's and O's and stuff like that? That's great. You know what I mean? We'd already talked about the quarterbacks and how much fun it is to watch these teams play. So I'm going to bring up the most like cupcake stupid thing that I'm looking forward to. And that's the uniform matchup, gentlemen. I was a sucker for the NFL rivalries and the new helmets that the Seahawks will be rocking on Thursday. So the uniform matchup, for those of you that care, it's the gray NFL rivalry uniforms with the awesome looking helmets for the Seahawks. And then you've got, I believe the Rams would be wearing blue jerseys with yellow pants and blue socks. So those uniforms, by the way, Rams, like one of my favorite in the league, might be a bold take. Who knows? I could probably build like a top 10. I'm sure we could do that in the off season. But, just to kind of, casual it out here, round us out here. I'm excited for that. But obviously the playoff implications, the division implications, what exactly all this will have an impact on. And it's a massive one, and this is exactly the kind of game you look for in a primetime situation. Man, I can't wait for this one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it would be remiss if we didn't talk about the Rams' offense against the Seattle defense because, frankly, they sucked in the first matchup. Outside of the first quarter, the Rams didn't have a single drive out of 7 possessions go beyond 5 plays. In that span, they had 4 3-and-outs. They had a fumble from Puka Nacua, which that guy fumbled the football. Like, you don't even think about that. And they still won the football game. They had 2 short field touchdowns created, after the first drive was a turnover on downs. So, again, like the margins in this game played to the Rams' favor. Seattle missed like a crazy long field goal to end the game, which was, a wild sequence in its own right, driving down the field. But yeah, this was the one time this season that I feel like the Rams got blanked on offense, and 21 ended up being enough just because of the margins of the interception by Darnold and the field goals that they had to settle for close to the red zone. So, again, I'm interested to see how McVay kind of adjusts off of that because I think they had a good game plan running the football early in this game. Like, Kyron created an explosive pretty quickly in this game. But outside of that, the Seattle adjusted really well to the run game, where they finished with, a 5-point average on 22 carries. But you think about, like, what they had to do. Like, Blake Corum, 8 carries, 10 yards, which is a 0% success rate. Like, just incredible stuff. So, again, I'm really fascinated to see what they lean into, especially because Devontae's out. Like, that is their cheat code. That is the guy that they kind of throw out there that is just always going to be in the right spot. He's going to ball win, and not that Puka Nacua can't, but he's usually the guy that they like to sprinkle out into that 13 personnel close to the goal line because of his, suction cup hands in the end zone. So really interested to see the Rams against the Seattle defense because in that environment, like Seattle can compress you and just overwhelm you. And in the first matchup, I think the Rams got pretty overwhelmed in the middle parts of the game, but they had just enough. So, again, I think this one is going to be an absolute classic. I'm really looking forward to it. We move on to now Saturday with the Packers traveling to Chicago in a game that the winner takes the 1 seed. The winner, apparently, if either one of them win or lose, they drop to the 7 seed now. And if the winner wins, then they go to like the 2 seed. This is how it's been the last like 3 weeks for these two teams. And this one doesn't feel any different. Thank you, Ty, from Green Bay and Dallas. But we keep, I mean, what are you looking for, Ryan, from the Bears' perspective in comparison to the last, game?
I want to see growth on again, looking forward again, the first half. I want to see you take advantage of obviously what the Packers will be lacking for the last 3 weeks of the season. I understand it's a bummer. Like I've put it out on Twitter. I know this is an uncommon thing, and I will go ahead and say this. Anybody who's kind of parading the fact that Micah Parsons has an injury in the sake of a rivalry
You're sick.
is just despicable. Yeah. I understand it's a rivalry. However, if Caleb went down tomorrow, you know what I mean, with something like that, the last thing I would ever want to hear is, he deserved it or blah, blah, blah. So like that's disgusting behavior, and Chicago fans are way better than that. So that's the first thing I want to say. However, that is absolutely something that needs to be taken advantage of. The Packers defense is like, I want to say bottom 5 in pass defense, or like pass EPA per play, when it comes to when Micah Parsons is out. You guys brought it up. Their defensive backs are not that great. And, the other edge rusher, I'm sorry, remind me. I know Rashawn Gary's having a little bit of a down year outside of Micah Parsons. Now, when Micah Parsons is playing, it's a little bit better, obviously. You have a game wrecker on the other side of the line. But, when it's just him, maybe not so much. It's an intriguing matchup specifically for that. Can the Bears win this is the biggest thing. And I feel like everybody's asking that strictly because this is a must-win game. Let's say, hypothetically, the Bears win this and Pittsburgh ends up beating Detroit by the grace of God in the afternoon on Sunday, right? At that point, the Bears have locked up a playoff spot, and if they either win or Green Bay loses against Baltimore next week, they win the division. So it's a pretty hefty game, and it just makes the task that much harder for the Bears if they were to lose this game. I will be sitting there, palms sweating, probably either blowing your guys' phones up or just radio silent. There's no in between. So don't expect anything crazy out of me. There's a reason why I haven't been live tweeting the games either this year. However, this is a really, really exciting game in division, and it got moved to prime time, around, I want to say 7:30 Central Time, 8:30 Eastern, for good reason. And so I'm looking forward to it. I want to see the pass game increase, and I want to see Colson Loveland involved. Those are the two things that, from the offense, that's the big thing. But run game is going to be awesome. Pass game should be better, hopefully. And defense is going to be defense. Can we make Jordan Love turn the ball over again? That was fun to watch. Can we not make it come down to the last second, please? Can we win by like a possession or two? That'd be cool. I don't know.
That would be awesome. No, the big thing, honestly, and it's not even matchup related at this point, is the Packers side of everything and everything that now follows with Micah Parsons being out. I'm really interested to see the effects that it has on this defense. As we had talked about within the power ranking segment, it had obviously greatly reduced where the majority of us has felt about this team in general, let alone the defensive side of the football. So I'm interested to just see if any of these guys are willing to step up now, right? Like now Rashawn Gary is that guy. You paid him a lot of money. Can he now perform somewhat? I mean, you're not going to ask him to be Micah Parsons, but can he live up to the paycheck that he got? Lucas Van Ness has been a bust of a draft pick through this point. He's questionable. We don't even know if he's going to play in this game. what does he have? And then obviously Kingsley Agbar Kingsley.
And Agbury.
And this is where and we'll see. He's going to be now kind of shoved into that starting spot because Micah Parsons is out. And I am just really, really interested to see how this team in defense is without Micah Parsons. And to be frank, I'm looking at their their depth chart, and I know Matt will get a kick out of this. I completely forgot Carl Brooks, Bowling Green legend, was on the Packers here. I'm just looking through the depth chart. It cracks me up. He watched him so much throughout the scouting process, and it's just funny to see his name flash across on my screen. But again, just interested to see what the defense has without Micah Parsons. That is what I will be watching in this game.
That's another like sneaky part of the Packers that like why I invest in this team is they pick all the players I like. They just pick all the draftable players that I enjoy, and even when it's like I'm the low man on Matthew Golden, like he's a Texas guy, so I'm just gonna root for him no matter where he goes. But I think for this game specifically, it's how does Chicago kind of limit the passing game? I think it just felt way too easy at times. The last time these two teams played, just 10 days ago, something like that. And then down the stretch, like when they needed to lean on Josh Jacobs because of that pass game, he was able to create some explosives and things like that. Bo Melton got involved in this one. Like he's the man. But I'm just interested to see because, and then another thing is that like Green Bay in this first one, why it was like, I called it one of my favorite games of the year, if not my favorite. Green Bay played so hard in that game. Chicago needs to match that at home. And like there is a bump to playing in your home stadium in that kind of like frigid temperature where it's like get juiced up, get amped up, make all the plays happen, play downhill and just hit everything in sight. Like remember what was it? The Edgerrin Cooper on Monungai hit where like the paint from the helmet's coming off. Like that just how physical this game is. You need to meet the physicality. You need to create and set the tone if you're the Bears because you're the home team. You're the underdog. You have this kind of like chip on your shoulder. Go and take it. Go and take it. Just from a vibes perspective, like just go and take the game. And so I'm really excited to see if they do that. Everything is pointing in their direction to, take this. It will be on them to take it. And also, Caleb, can you not have like one of the worst halves of football I've seen? Like the first half was really bad. Like what was it? He had that one dig over the middle. It was like a 3rd and 8 or something, and he missed so high. I was like,
it was kind of rough there.
So again, like it could be better, but you get a second chance at it. And with what has happened in the last week, where Green Bay loses, Chicago wins. You're in the driver's seat, so excited to see. But let's move on to America's division, the NFC South. The Bucs and the Panthers play each other, and then they play each other again in 2 weeks, with basically the division on the line. There's a world, by the way, that to make it about the Saints. There's a world that the Saints finish with a winning division record, and neither one of these teams do. So I think that's kind of silly to think about, but hey, it is what it is. This is just bad vibes express for both of these teams. Like Carolina can't get out of their own way in terms of like figuring out week to week consistency. The Bucs passing game is just kind of miserable right now. And I know they kind of figured it out against Atlanta on Thursday Night Football because Evans was back, but still you come down the stretch and you lose that game. It's still something to make note of. So interested to see what this game looks like. Do you guys have anything?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is the defense. We had spent, or this is for the division. I'm so sorry. We had spent so much time talking about the Buccaneers' offense of it all, and then not really being able to put anything together. And what does Mike Evans add? And we saw it. I mean, Mike Evans looked very, very good against the Falcons. No one else really did. So we will see. Again, now we were able to integrate Mike Evans back in. now can we start sharing the ball around a little bit? Like, I understand Mike Evans is good, but let's have everyone else also do their parts here. Sean Tucker, I just really quick, this has nothing to do with the game. He's so much fun to watch. I love that guy. And then again, on the Panther side of it all, we're gonna see how their offense looks. It didn't look very good against the Saints last week. Obviously, they struggled immensely. I don't think the Buccaneers offense is like spectacular. Defense is spectacular, especially compared to what the Saints have. At least with what the eye. I don't know what the metric is saying.
They've been playing great.
What the eye is saying. It's so we will see again. I'm just interested to see how either offense performs. I have questions on both, and I'm just going to be watching to see again how it happens, and it'll be for the division, as you said.
Yeah, I have nothing more to add on that one. The Buccaneers, are they good? Are they good? I don't
Are they
know.
Who knows?
I don't know. Are the Panthers good? I don't know.
Good vibes.
Good vibes, though. You're right about that. All right, guys.
All right.
Shall we get in to Pigskin Pick'em?
I think so.
All right, let's do it. So last week, Matt and I went 11-5. Ben went 7-9. So that brings the overall results to Ben is leading still at 143, 78-1, but Matt is right behind him. 141, 80-1 for Matt. And then, I'm gradually improving my record, but probably out of contention. 132, 89-1. So overall, might I say, decent year for the boys, especially you two, but decent year for the boys.
We got to finish strong.
Have to finish strong for sure, and that's where we're going to start. Rams, Seahawks. Ben, how are we feeling?
Rams.
Okay, Matt?
Yes. Seattle. I wanted the
Boo.
Seattle side. I was going to pick against you no matter what for this game. I want to be on the Seattle side.
We have them right where we want them, Matt. I'm taking the Seahawks as well. Eagles, Commanders to start the Saturday slate. Ben?
Yeah. Give me the Eagles. Jane Daniels has now officially kind of been ruled out for the rest of the season. They just said, we're not going to mess with it. He's just going to be sitting, and I think that's probably the right thing to do. So give me the Eagles. Shocker.
Yeah, I think all of us are going Eagles, right? I kind of
I'll take
left
the
that one
Eagles.
out.
Favored by 6.5 against the backup quarterback Commanders. What a line.
Oh, no. Yeah. And we asked why they're honorable mentions. Packers, Bears, Ben.
Give me the Bears.
All right. Matt?
Bears.
Yeah, okay, fine. You convinced me. Bears. I'd rather all of us be wrong than me be wrong and you guys be right because my team won. So, any of us. All right.
They better win this game.
They better. But it'd be the
better.
most Bears thing ever to lose it. You know what I'm saying? And then make it extra difficult. But I digress. Sunday, noon slate. Chargers, Cowboys. Ben? I'll be honest with you. I have literally written down whoever Ben doesn't pick for my pick.
Well, and that's what I hate. Like that is truly what I hate in this is like it's not a win-win for me. Yeah,
Come on.
You know you want to do it.
I'm picking Chargers.
Give me the Chargers.
All right, I'll go Cowboys.
Michigan man against the Cowboys, and you almost picked the Cowboys. Come on.
Vikings, Giants. Ben?
Yeah, Vikings. 9 is back.
Giants.
All right. I'll take Vikings. Bengals, Dolphins.
I'm fading 9.
You're fading 9. All right.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. What did you say this next game is?
Bengals, Dolphins.
Bengals.
All right.
Pick one yours. I
Matt?
dare you. Pick one yours.
Dolphins.
I dare you. Do it. Do it. Oh, he did it!
If there was any defense I would pick him against, it is the Cincinnati defense.
I'm going Bengals. Buccaneers, Panthers. Ben?
Give me the Buccaneers because I don't like what the Panthers have on offense.
Matt?
What, Bryce Young? Give me the Bucks.
All right. Out of pure desperation, I will switch my pick to Carolina.
It's fair.
All right. Jets, Saints. I think, yeah.
Yeah. Give me the Saints.
Yeah, Matt, you going to pick against your team?
Give me
In
the
favor
Saints.
of the Jets? Yeah.
Come on.
I'm giving, I'll take the
The
Saints.
Audric estimate game is upon us, everybody. Get ready. Just, oh my God. I'm so excited.
Bills, Browns.
Give me the Browns. Or Bills. Give
Browns.
me the Bills.
Whoa.
Give me the Bills. Give me
Whoa.
the Bills.
Clip it,
Give
Chad. He
me
picked the
Bills.
Browns. It's perfect timing, baby. It's perfect timing. Anyways, Bills. Okay, Matt. Bills probably.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bills.
All right. I'm
Wait,
also
really
going
quickly
Bills.
for my own record, did you pick the Panthers, Matt?
No.
No, okay.
Chiefs,
Pick
Titans.
tie.
Yeah,
Give me the Titans.
Matt.
Oh my God, this game is miserable. Give me the Titans. We're not going to let this game decide anything.
I'm going
Oh.
Chiefs.
That's yeah.
I'll do it. I'll do it. Afternoon slate, gentlemen. Jaguars, Broncos.
Give me the Jaguars.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yes, dude. This game is so great. Give me Broncos.
I will also go Broncos. Broncos country. Let's ride. Falcons, Cardinals. Ben?
Sprint it in, Cardinals. I'm getting it in first. If you want to
Yeah,
pick
I'm
this
going
miserable
I mean,
Falcons team.
No, I'm going Cardinals.
I'll go Falcons. Let's do it. Raiders,
one.
Texans. This one's obvious.
Texans.
Texans. Yeah. Okay. Steelers, Lions. Ooh.
Lions.
Ooh. Matt.
I want to take the Steelers so bad. I'm not.
Do it.
Just because of the Rodgers factor. But I think the Lions get back on track with their run game.
I love it. I'm forced to pick the Steelers. I love it. Patriots, Ravens.
Love picking
Patriots.
Rodgers, brother. Give me the Ravens. I am finally picking against the Patriots, everybody. This is a holiday. Okay?
Yeah. I will go with the Ravens as well. 49ers, Colts.
Niners.
Rivers?
No shot. No shot. Niners.
All right, I'll pick Rivers. Let's do it. Go Colts. This is
Okay,
our team.
So let me
He's
ask
the
you a
man.
question. So there are now
Seth's
six
the man.
games. There are 6 games that me and Matt have picked against each other. It's Rams, Seahawks, Chiefs, Titans, Bengals, Dolphins, Vikings, Giants, Jaguars, Broncos, and Patriots, Ravens. This time
Wait,
next
say it
week.
one more time just to review. Just to review. One more time because I got to make sure it's because, yeah, just go for it. In order,
Rams-
please.
We've had issues in the past.
Rams, Seahawks,
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs, Titans.
No,
did
I
you-
picked the Titans.
You did pick.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Probably Bengals Dolphins, right?
Let me just send you my notes afterwards, please. All right, I got you.
Okay, but Bengals, Dolphins,
Mm-hmm.
Vikings, Giants,
Yep.
Jags,
Yep.
Broncos, and Patriots Ravens. So it's actually 5.
Yep.
It's
Right
wide.
with Art.
What are we gonna do if this time next week me and Matt are tied? Because we've always said
Well, it's impossible because I'm 2 games back. 5 games, I can't. I could go 3-2 against you, and you could go 2-3, or like 4-1.
That's true.
You know.
True that. Yeah, it worked when it was 6. That's
Yeah. It is what it is.
I picked 6 games differently than both of you guys. What if I go 6-0 in those games and close the gap a little bit more? Because
Buddy, you
then it
picked
would
the
be
Falcons. All right.
all right.
Over.
We'll clip that. It's fine. All right.
I clip
Pigskin
it. Team's
Pigskin
miserable.
payout. I've got a heck of a parlay for you guys, and I'm just gonna start us off. I'm taking the mic. Get ready for me to drop it. You ready?
Pause. Before you drop it, the people are wondering, did you actually put your money on this bet? People are saying that you're scared.
Yet.
People are saying that you're giving parlays that you don't trust because you're not putting your money on it. That's just what the streets are saying.
For the record, I was paid 15 minutes ago. No, I did not just place the bet. We've been recording the show.
Okay,
but I put this together. Yeah.
Okay. The people are wondering. I mean, you threw the people for a loop when you said a couple weeks ago that it was the first one that you put money on.
Classic people loop.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Pop quiz for the people that are paying attention. How many legs does an anytime touchdown parlay from Ryan normally have?
4.
And you're
4's
right.
up.
However, this week we're doing a 6-leg parlay, and one of them isn't an anytime touchdown score. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
We're going Caleb
I'm sorry
Williams.
to let you guys down with the Monungai pick, by the way.
We're going Caleb Williams, AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, Mike Evans, and CMC. I'm done picking primarily running backs, all right? We're going with a quarterback that's going to scramble and find the end zone. We're going with 3 wide receivers and then one of the most reliable running backs in the league. And then as for the last leg of the parlay,
Bears money line.
Myles Garrett to record a sack against Buffalo. He will break the record this weekend, folks. And if you find a special
next week.
Nope. He's going to do it. He's going to do it against Buffalo, against a team that allowed Josh Allen to be sacked 8 times in the same game. Myles Garrett, you're a beast. Congratulations on your accomplishment. You will be in the Hall one day, and you will also be wearing Bears colors next year. Anyways, I just had to throw that in. Hey, we can clip it, and it'll come back later. I promise. Ben,
yeah. Oh yeah.
What you got,
Cap, pal? Yes. So we're gonna change it up a little bit. I usually do spreads, but we're gonna mix it in. We're gonna change it up. So a 4-legger here. We will have the Bengals cover an alt spread of -2.5. And we have the Bengals over on points at 26.5. Joe Burrow's coming off a really bad game. He needs something to kind of lift his spirits up. And this is the perfect defense to do it against. Now we have over on 42.5 points in the Rams and Seahawks game. And finally, we're going to do an Eagles money line. It gets you plus 432. You put $5 on it, and you win 26.63. There we go.
Matt.
I'm going.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
I think I kind of have one, which is pretty good. Do I? Yeah, I will. We'll do 3 underdogs to win outright.
Ooh.
Going with Chargers. They're a playoff team. They have 10 wins. The Cowboys' defense is miserable. Why are they an underdog? I'm eating the cheese. And then I've ragged on them the entire time. Fading the Falcons. Taking the Cardinals. Jacoby Brissett has been really good. So we're taking the Cardinals. And then the final one. We're taking Quinn Ewers. All right, we're backing Quinn Ewers. This could be miserable. It might be miserable. But I don't care. I want to bet on my guy. And betting against my guy, Joe Burrow. But here we are. and that is at 12:04 on DraftKings. So the Dolphins, the Chargers, and the Cardinals all to win games is what I have.
All right.
This feels like the time to say it here really quickly, by the way, because you had brought it up. Matt, I hate to break it to you. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to ruin you guys this weekend. I didn't hear from you by the time I had placed our anytime touchdown parlay. So my anytime touchdown parlay was just James Cook and Saquon Barkley. So mine hit. I didn't have to suffer from Kyle Manungai because I'm like, I don't know if Matt's responding. I'm placing this because I feel confident in these two legs. And I went ahead and placed it. And I mean, I didn't win a lot. It was only plus 224. But I had to get that off my chest.
You didn't lose anything.
Guys stuff. So yeah, exactly.
Well, the thing was like all the swing players that I had scored. So like, what was it? Henderson, McBride, those were, and then ETN were all guys I thought of, and I was like, we're taking Manungai.
All right, closing thoughts, gentlemen. Anything?
Yeah, my closing thoughts is going to be podcast related. And we'll put all this out on the Twitter, the X. It'll be kind of like the same thing that we did for. It'll kind of like be the same thing we did for Thanksgiving. We'll just record a little like snippet of just our pick'ems. And again, that'll be a recording, not a live stream. And then we will be moving College Corner from Tuesday over to Monday. Expect that to be a shorter show as well because there's not actually any games for us to like any playoff games for us to cover. There'll be a couple like weird like Bad Boy Mower game or something. But that's just quick podcast stuff. Again, that'll be out on Twitter. We'll make sure you guys are all informed on that. But that is my final thought. Go Birds, go Positive Rabbit, and we will leave it at that.
Mine is completely unrelated to podcast or football. Hey, if you guys order from Amazon for your Christmas gifts, make sure you check the box that says this is a gift because I've had 2 of them ruined within 24 hours. Unbelievable from Amazon. Poor performance. You're getting benched next year. I don't know.
Wait,
your
this seems
competition,
like a you issue.
I did not check the box. That's why I'm telling people to check the box.
So that's your fault. That's not Amazon's issue.
Yeah.
Listen,
you're benching
when
yourself.
do you not receive an Amazon box or a slip that has the Amazon logo? I'm tired of my neighbors seeing what I'm ordering for my girlfriend for Christmas. Okay. I'm sorry that I had to give her 2 gifts early because she already saw what it was. Okay.
You're
and like
benched.
people can steal.
We're benching you.
No.
You're benched.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Official
This
benching.
is a user. This is a
Right.
skill gap. Skill back.
This is definitely a user error. I should have pressed the button.
Oh,
Yeah.
Brian.
Brian's been benched.
What? Oh, he's gone.
Because he's benched. That was good.
Yeah, he was benched.
I'm back. I'm inevitable. No, but anyways, yeah, next week we will have plans and stuff for you, as Ben was saying. So, stay posted and whatnot. But good to be back. Thanks for having me back, boys. I missed this. Matt?
What? Oh.
It's your turn.
Your turn. You go. Or you're gonna be
I don't know.
benched.
I don't know. I think we should make. If the Saints finish, like, if they keep winning, I think we should make a petition.
We
to
should
get
put them in
the
next
playoffs.
month's power rankings.
We should put them in the playoffs because why are we wasting time with these Panthers and Bucks when the real superstar Tyler Shuck is breaking out in front of our eyes and could theoretically give someone like an actual playoff game where neither one of these teams, they're miserable. So that's my.
But Devon Vele's
I-
out,
I-
man. What are we
I
ever
do-
going to do?
I do have closing.
Mason Tipton breakout
closing.
game.
Yes, exactly. I do have a closing thought. You reminded me.
Went to Yale.
God, I hate people on social media. I've seen far too many people in the same sentence be like, the Browns have figured their quarterback situation out. but the Saints need to draft someone. Like, I understand it's the Saints, and we like probably aren't watching Saints football at this point. But if you're watching Browns football and you're saying yes, Shedeur Sanders has figured it out, but no, Tyler Chuck hasn't, like, you just don't know ball. You just straight up don't know ball. Tyler Chuck has deserved at least another season with the way he's been playing. Give the kid some flowers. That is where that's where I'm at. I know people have to leave, so I'm gonna put myself in mute. So I stepped out.
Last closing thought that I will leave you with is if the Bears win this Sunday, I'm thinking 2 words. And
Saturday.
one of them
They play on
starts with an S.
Saturday. I don't think they're going to win on Sunday.
Sunday, sorry.
Idiot.
If the Bears win on Saturday, I will be thinking of 2 words. One of them that starts with an S, the other one starting with a B. You heard it here first. Without further ado, we want to thank Spotify for Podcasters, Regional Radio Sports Network, and Uppercuts Grooming. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and thank you to the YouTube crew for tuning in to the videos and whatnot. We appreciate every single one of you, and we will see you guys at some point next week when we announce it. And if not, Merry Christmas. Have a good week.